on today. So, grab your drink, grab your snacks. We're gonna be here for a little bit. Okay, so I want to talk about how I went from this to this. With it being quarantine and all, I know a lot of us are struggling with staying on top of our goals. If you have fitness goals or anything, I know a lot of us are having a hard time staying on track of our fitness goals. I know I've had a hard time just staying motivated in general. I had so many plans. I wanted to do so many things. I wanted to, declutter the house. I just had so many plans, and I've just not gotten a whole lot done, especially the last 2 weeks. I've just decided to be a lazy bitch. But one thing I am very proud of with this quarantine, especially for myself and knowing me and my brain, is I have managed to not gain any weight. Matter of fact, I've actually lost some weight. So that's kind of what I want to go over today. I want to talk about my weight loss journey. So before we get started, and I'm just going to jump right in because this is going to be a long one. We ain't got nothing but time on our hands anyway, so sit back and enjoy. But I just want to make a few disclaimers before I even get into everything. Number one is that the after picture that I showed you, I do not look like that right now. I am working on getting back towards that. But no, I do not look like that right now. About a month after that picture, I got pregnant per my calculations. And then I had my baby just a little over a year ago. And my, bounce back process has taken quite some time, and I'll get to that. But no, I do not look like that right now, but that's what I looked like right before I got pregnant. So that's disclaimer number one. Disclaimer number two, I am not a licensed anything. I'm not a licensed, health professional. I'm not a licensed nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not any of those things. This is just my story and what worked for me and the things that I did that helped me get the weight off, build a little bit of muscle and stuff like that, retrain my eating habits. This is just my story. So everybody's body is different. Everybody's body responds to things differently. So that's disclaimer number two. Disclaimer number three, and I feel like I have to say this because people are so sensitive nowadays and people love to get offended. I am not by any means saying that anyone needs to be a certain number on the scale, that anyone needs to look a certain way. If you're healthy, you're healthy. And I feel like that's what everyone's weight loss journey or fitness journey in general should be about. If you want to do it for aesthetics, that's cool too, but I feel like a lot of it should be about health. So it doesn't matter what the number on the scale says so long as you're healthy. So I just want to put that out there too. So I'm going to try to keep this in chronological order as best I can. Lord knows I'm a scatterbrain. I ramble off and then I forget where I'm at and where I'm going. So I'm going to try my best to stick to this. So let's start in the beginning. I have always struggled with my weight. I was always a chubbier kid. As you can see, I'll put a picture up. I was always a chubbier kid. I didn't really get to wear all the really cute clothes that my, girlfriends were wearing growing up. They shopped in the really cute stores. I mean, I was always a tomboy too, so I never really wore all the dresses and cute fancy outfits and stuff like that. But I was always bigger, and I was bullied a lot for it when I was younger. I don't want to say that it really affected me, especially by the time I got to high school. It was okay, got anything else you can joke on me about? Because that's worn out. Trying to use my weight against me is worn out. Y'all been doing it since I was in kindergarten. So I was bullied pretty bad for my weight when I was younger. And I mean, of course, when I was really young, I do feel like it affected my self-esteem and everything, but I was always an active kid though. Like I played sports and I was always outside. So a lot of mine, I believe, goes back to my genetics on both sides of my family. But I also know that I had not very good habits when I was younger, and I don't think that back then they had the just plethora of research and stuff that we have now. No one really so much batted an eye if you ate a Happy Meal almost every day, or if you sat on the couch with a bag of chips, and now it's like, you give your kid Doritos. But either way, so I know I didn't have very good healthy habits growing up. I used to drink a lot of soda, and diabetes also runs rampant in my family. And when I was probably middle school, early high school, my mom put a stop to that. She almost quit buying soda completely, and I had to take like at least 2 bottles of water to school with me every day. And I did end up losing some weight just naturally off drinking soda, of not drinking soda anymore. I remember I went to a doctor's appointment when I was probably, I don't know, 14, somewhere in there, and the doctor had asked me if I had been trying to lose weight. And I was like, no, not really. Like, over that summer, I was probably eating Taco Bell and McDonald's every day. And he said, well, since your last visit, and it had probably been a year since that last visit, he said, you've lost about 15 pounds. And I truly believe that was just from stop drinking soda. So anyway, I still never had a very good diet. When I got to my teenage years, I basically survived off of like tater tots, Velveeta shells and cheese, McDonald's, Taco Bell, and there was no second thought about it. And I never thought really negatively about it. I never like counted my calories or was like, oh my god, I shouldn't eat this. And I'm gonna get into that complex that you get once you actually start losing weight in a little bit. But when I was a teenager, I never thought about that. McDonald's, Taco Bell, if I had money for it, let's do it. And just crap all the time. And I'm a big sweets person. If I could literally survive my entire life by just eating sugar and not get diabetes and not get fat, I would. Like, that is literally my vice in life, is sweets. It's insane. So I've always struggled with my weight. I've always been a little bit bigger. I think in my teenage to early 20s, adulthood years, I always fluctuated between 175 and 185. I always fluctuated in there, and I'll put some pictures up of different timelines to show you guys. The smallest that I know I had ever gotten down to weight-wise, I think I was 21, and I had saw it on one of my medical records. I got down to 162, and I'll put that right here. And at that point, I had started going to the gym. I was going through a really rough emotional period. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I just kind of felt like I felt like I wasn't getting along with my friends at the time, and I just felt like I didn't really fit in, and I kind of isolated myself for probably about 3 months. I didn't really go out, I didn't really do anything, and I decided to pick up going to the gym. So if I wasn't at work, I was at the gym. And at the time, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew I was moving my body, and I knew that was enough. Still though, wasn't really focusing on diet. Like, food was never really a thought to me that I needed to change. I thought I just needed to move more, because after I stopped doing sports and stuff growing up, I definitely wasn't moving my body as much as I should. So there was a period in there in my really early 20s that I did go to the gym, and that's probably when I got down to that weight. So then moving forward, again, I never was terribly self-conscious. I knew I was a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker than a lot of my friends. Here, picture in Florida on a scooter. I wore shorts, I wore tank tops. I just never, now sitting here thinking about it, I can't really recall being super, super self-conscious. but I never wore bikinis. I will tell you that. Growing up, I think I wore a bikini to the beach one time when I was like 14 because my friends convinced me to, but I never wore bikinis ever. So when I also suffered from high cholesterol. I'm gonna put that in there. That is also a very strong genetic trait in my family, is the cholesterol, and it really doesn't even matter how big or how small you are. My mom is a very thin woman and she has high cholesterol, and that's just something that my family battled with: diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, all that stuff. So I had high cholesterol in high school, and that's probably about when my mom took me off soda and we were trying to find different foods to really implement into my diet to help lower my cholesterol. When I was about 23 or 24, somewhere in there, I don't know, I had gotten my heaviest. I was working at a salon where we didn't have we only had one dress code, and that was basically yoga pants and like a sports shirt. And when you are wearing yoga pants every single day, and you have a Five Guys and a Firehouse Subs and a Chanello's pizza all right there together, you will be amazed at how quickly you put your weight on and you don't notice it. I remember when I had gotten to my heaviest, I didn't notice it until one day I went to go put a pair of jeans on, and it almost felt like overnight. I went to go put a pair of jeans on and they barely went above my knees, and I was like, who is playing a prank on me? This is not funny. Whose jeans are these? Because they're not mine. And I got really, really sad. I was like, what happened? Like, how did this happen? And then I got on the scale. And again, go back to my disclaimers. I'm not saying any numbers are bad as long as you're healthy and you're happy. I got on the scale and I was over 200. And I had never been over 200 ever in my life. And I had gotten up to like a size 14 or so in pants. And I did not know what to do with myself. I didn't even know how it happened, because I was like, what? Where did this come from? And then when you realize you're wearing stretchy yoga pants every day and your pants stretch with you when you do. So at that point, I think is when my weight really, really, really started to affect me. I got really depressed. I got really upset. And I struggle with two things when I get really upset, especially over weight. I either go full-blown strict. I don't eat nothing bad, like nothing. I'm talking like salads, grilled chicken, like counting calories. I get really, really strict. Or I say, fuck it, damage has already been done. Let's go get some ice cream. Or fuck it, I'm just going to pig out. Damage is already done. It's either one way or the other. There is no middle road for me. And at that point in time, I was so upset that I said fuck it. And I was just eating crap that I shouldn't have been eating all the time. So, so I had gotten to my heaviest, and I'll put that picture up here. So I had gotten to my heaviest, and I was miserable. For more than one reason. I was in a terrible, terrible relationship. That's not that we ain't got time for that. But I was in a really bad relationship, and I was just in a really bad place in life in general. So at one point, I did decide that I was fed up, that I didn't want to be like this anymore. And I tried a bunch of crash diets. I'm talking like 500 calorie a day diets. I'm talking like you eat a piece of cheese for lunch. Like, I tried a bunch of crash diets. And I was also very, very poor at the time. So I couldn't afford a gym membership or barely groceries in general. And we all know junk food is cheaper. So I started working out at home and just doing what I could do, and still not really knowing a lot about diet. I just went on these crash diets, and I did manage to lose about 20 pounds. So then I lived in Tennessee at that time. So then I moved back home, and that was really hard, moving back home and getting adjusted, and you know, friends wanting to go out. I had been gone for 6 months. friends wanting to go out and have fun, and you know, when you're out drinking all night, it usually leads to like stopping somewhere and getting some food and stuff like that. But I still managed to keep most of the 20 pounds off, and me and my mom picked up going to Zumba. So I'll put a picture in of what I looked like when I first started Zumba. So me and my mom were going to Zumba, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not a cardio person. Like, I really hate running and stuff like that, but if it's something fun like dancing, then I'm perfectly okay with that. So I did that for a while. Still never really changed my diet, but I was active, so the weight did start to slowly come off, and I wasn't as self-conscious anymore, and I was like, okay, you know, this is fine. I like how I feel, and I like how I look, so we're good. So the big turning point was when my husband and I got engaged. I set a huge goal for myself because it was something I had never done before, something I had never completed before, and I wanted to lose 30 pounds before our wedding. I just wanted to look my best in my wedding dress. I wanted to feel my best in my wedding dress. I didn't want to be self-conscious about anything, and I just wanted to be a whole different person, I guess. Like, I've never been skinny, so I kind of set a goal for myself to see how much I could do. And I think when we very first started, because my husband and I both did this together, when I very first started, I believe I was still like 180, somewhere in there, 177, 180. And I said, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds before the wedding. We got engaged in December. So I'll put a picture up. We got engaged in December. I think I waited until like maybe February-ish, maybe after my birthday in March, to get like real hot and heavy, because our wedding was in the following November. So I had about 10 months to really, you know, get into this. So what I did, I sat probably on the internet, Pinterest, just everything, trying to figure out what I can do to where I won't give up. Because I can't do like boring, repetitive, like eat chicken and broccoli all day or have the same stuff for lunch every day. Oh, you have the same snacks. Like, I cannot feel like it's a diet or I'm going to give up on it, because I feel restricted, and that is a science. When you feel like you're being completely, you know, restricted and you can't have any of the things that you enjoy in life, then it's easy to give up. It's everything in moderation. So I had actually found Advocare. I am in no way like advertising for them or anything. I'm just saying that's what really jump-started me and got me going. So I started Advocare, and it's a supplement system if you're not familiar with it. I started Advocare. I followed their challenges and their cleanses, and you know, I really ate the way that they suggest that you eat, especially during their challenges. And then even when my challenges and my cleanses were over, I still continued to eat that way. And my husband was doing jiu-jitsu, and he was, you know, pretty into being physical, and he lifted weights and stuff like that. And I knew I hated working out because I thought working out was just cardio. And I did not know anything about lifting weights. I was embarrassed and shy, really, to go into the gym and lift weights, especially if there was other guys around, because I was so petrified to turn into a YouTube video or a meme. Like, I was so scared that I was gonna do something wrong and somebody would be sitting there filming me and I was gonna be the next like viral sensation, and I did not want to go viral for those reasons. So I knew I needed to get active, but I didn't know what to do. So I went to the gym with my husband, and he really helped me learn about lifting weights and how to do it, and you know, how to push yourself and not push yourself too hard, and how to stand, and you know, how to breathe and stuff like that. So I was on Advocare, I was following their diet, and it was basically, when you would eat your meals, on like breakfast, you could have a protein, a complex carb, and a fruit. So I would usually have like poached eggs, light or whole grain English muffin, and like some strawberries. And you know, same thing for lunch, and then same thing for dinner, but they would suggest not having a carb for dinner if you could help it. Excuse me, if you could help it. So that's pretty much how I ate. And I did have cheat days because I know how my brain works, and I know that if I just, you know, deprive myself all the time, it's not going to work. So I did have cheat meals, like once a week or once every other week or something. We would go out and, you know, we would splurge a little bit. And I learned very quickly that when you eat super clean for, you know, a decent amount of time and then you have a cheat meal, it hurts. Like, be prepared if you are on like this clean eating path and you're trying to lose weight, and then like say you and some friends want to go out one night and you want to enjoy some pizza or some wings, or my biggest one that I can recall was a meatball and cheese sub, and it was the most delicious meatball and cheese sub I have ever had in my life, and I hurt so bad when I'm like, my back hurt, not just my stomach, my back was hurting. I was like, why does my back hurt? I mean, it's painful. So when you have that cheat meal, you better make sure it is something that you are going to enjoy and that it is worth every bit of gas pain that you're gonna have. So anyway, I did the Advocare and I started working out, and I found that I really liked lifting weights. And it made it even harder for me to do cardio, because I will find any excuse not to do cardio. Now, I like to go outside and go on walks and stuff, and I do have an elliptical in my house, but it's like an hour-long pep talk to get me to get on that thing. And I do feel better when I get off, but I hate cardio. So anyway, I basically just, I knew I wanted it, and it was for a good reason. I wanted to look good in a wedding dress, and I wanted to feel my best in my wedding dress. So I really used that as my motivation, and I think 6 months, I think I had lost the 30 pounds in about 6 months. It might have been 20 pounds in about 6 months. So I lost the 20 pounds in about 6 months, and I'm going to, if I haven't already, I'm going to go ahead and insert some progress before and afters. Okay. And then I'm going to put my wedding pictures up. So this is what it looked like at my wedding. I'm not positive of what the scale said. Honestly, I just know that I felt better and that my clothes were fitting. Like, I had to buy a whole new wardrobe. My clothes were not fitting, and I was really proud of myself. So I got to that point. We got married. We went on our honeymoon. And on our honeymoon was the first time I have ever worn a bikini in public and have a picture that I posted on social media. I had never ever worn a bikini in public. Ever. Like, I was so scared to take that picture. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's not bad. But then I realized as time went on, I don't know what happened to my brain. At one point, it was like it wasn't enough. Nothing was enough. And I started to get even more self-conscious than I was in the beginning. And I'm like, how does this happen? How do you lose all of this weight and you feel good and you see it on the scale and you see it in the sizing of your clothing? I think before I had gotten to my smallest, which I'll get to that, I think I had reached like a size 8, and I had never been in single-digit clothing ever in my entire life. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what is wrong? Like, why am I still struggling? And it is because if anyone out there is on a weight loss journey and you have not figured this out yet, you have to fix a lot up here. You can lose all the weight you want to lose, but if you don't get your mind right, I don't think it matters. I mean, it'll matter for your health, but you're never going to be happy with what you see. And I don't know what the turning point was. I can't really point out anything in particular, but I realized one day, and I looked at my husband and I said, how did I become more self-conscious and more nitpicky about my body after losing all the weight that I wanted to lose? I reached my goal than I was before. Like, I didn't nitpick at what I looked like in a pair of shorts when I was 175, 180 pounds. I didn't really care. I mean, no, I didn't wear a bikini, but I wore shorts and so I didn't care. I didn't pay attention to my back fat coming over my bra. I didn't pay attention to just all this stuff. And I'm like, what happened? I thought I was going to be happier when I lost all this weight. I thought I was going to have more self-confidence. I thought my self-esteem was going to go through the roof and I was going to be walking around like, I'm a bad bitch. But it didn't. I got more like, I need to cover up. Like, I shouldn't be wearing this. I shouldn't be wearing that. I can't do this. And it shocked the shit out of me. I'm like, what? I don't understand. So then, I got a personal trainer and I loved my trainer. Like, we just had so much fun together. And he took me to a local nutrition shop and they had this machine called the InBody. And what I really liked about the InBody was it broke every single thing down. I'm talking about everything. You stand on it and you hold these little handles and you stand on like these little electromagnetic probe things, and it reads everything. It tells you the percentage of water in your body. It tells you your skeletal muscle mass. It tells you your body fat percentage, not just your BMI, because honestly, the old school BMI chart is a bunch of bullshit, because you can be 150 pounds and be all muscle with 12% body fat and your BMI is going to tell you you're overweight. Anyway, so it told you everything. It told you your whole weight, and then it broke down what all contributes to that weight. I mean, it tells you how much your right arm weighs, how much your left arm weighs, how much each leg weighs, like everything. And then it gives you your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories that you burn while just literally laying in bed. Like, if you were to lay in bed all day long and you do absolutely nothing, you just lay in bed all day long, the BMR, your basal metabolic rate, is what is the calories you burn just laying there. So he did all the math, he did all that stuff. Again, I'm not a licensed personal trainer, but I did learn a lot through this, and I feel like I could help someone who is new and doesn't know anything, and I could give them advice because I learned so much through this. I also learned that starving yourself is not the way to go. You have to feed your body. You have to fuel your body. And just because I say these things and I know these things doesn't always mean that I follow them. I went through a period where I got so upset after I had my baby that my weight wasn't coming off that I stopped eating. I was like, you know what, this isn't working. This weight's not coming off fast enough. I was also battling postpartum depression, and I just stopped eating for like a week. I didn't eat for a week. And yeah, I lost some weight, but it was freaking miserable. And then the second you eat anything, it's gonna come right back on. So, you know, just because I know these things and I went through these things doesn't mean I don't still struggle with it, because I really, really do. So anyway, I got with my trainer and we focused a lot on building muscle, because the more muscle that you have, the more fat your body will just naturally burn. And then your metabolism is up higher, and then the more you can eat, because you have to feed your muscles. In order to keep that muscle mass up, you have to give your body calories. You have to give your body healthy fuel. So the more calories you're intaking and burning and the more muscle you have, it's just all, you know, it's all one big wheel. It all goes together. So we really focused on building muscle that would in turn burn fat. I didn't really so much care about the scale anymore, because the scale is a liar. So if you're beginning a weight loss journey, just know that the scale is a liar and you need to celebrate non-scale victories. Such as, for an example, I told you guys I'm not like my after picture I showed, but I'm still in progress from after having a baby. The pair of shorts I'm wearing right now, I put them on last night, and I was so happy because I could feel that they were a lot looser than they used to be. And these are fresh out the dryer shorts, so they ain't been stretched out. And I could feel that they were looser, and that's exciting for me. Or, going down a dress size. I think the smallest I had gotten after working with my trainer, probably in that picture, it really depends because each clothing line is different. I found that too. Like, you almost can't even depend on your clothing size because every clothing line is different. They all measure things differently. I don't know. Like, I have a pair of shorts from JCPenney I got in a size 4. I about fainted in the dressing room because never ever in my entire life have I ever been a size 4. I was excited when I got to an 8 and I was in single digits. And then I put those shorts on and they were a size 4 and they fit, and I was like, oh my God. But then if I went to Walmart and bought a pair of shorts, I would still have to get a size 8. So you can't really go by that either. But you can't rely on the scale. You can have too much salt one day and have high sodium and retain water. And that is something that my trainer and I learned about my body, and he could not figure it out. I would do that in-body test, and my water percentage would be really, really high. And he's like, what the hell? And I'm like, I don't know. I watch my sodium. I watch my sodium intake, and I make sure I'm not, going crazy with the salt or overly processed foods or anything like that. We could not figure it out. Even one time before we went and did the in-body, he told me to fast, so I fasted. And then we went and we worked out for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And then I went and I sat in a sauna for about another 30 or 45 minutes. And we went to go do my in-body, and I think my water dropped by like 1%. And he was like, what the hell? I'm like, look, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm just a bloated bitch. I don't know what to say. Like, I apparently hold water like nobody's business. But I really loved that in-body because it really broke everything down, and I was able to see where if I only went down like a pound, maybe my muscle went up. So I will say that that's what worked best for me. I tried to eat as whole foods as possible. And the best way you can do that is read your ingredient list. If you are going shopping and you're not sure what to get and something is advertised as healthy, which you have to watch out for that too, like some of these protein bars and like grain bars or oatmeal, stuff like that, they'll be like called healthy. But if you read the back, read your labels. Read your labels. If there's like a paragraph long of ingredients and you can barely pronounce a lot of them, then it's not really a whole food. And also shopping on the outside aisles of grocery stores, because a lot of that is your produce, your fresh meats, all your stuff like that, shopping on the outside. And I was eating my whole foods, and yes, I did count my calories. Because at the end of the day, the basic formula to losing weight is calories in, calories out. If you're eating 3,000 calories a day, even if that's in salads and eggs and celery and fruits and veggies and all that stuff, if you're eating 3,000 calories a day, but you're not working out, your weight's probably not going to go anywhere. So you still need to be, aware of the amount of calories that you're eating. I told y'all this was gonna be a long one. So I had gotten down to my smallest, which is the picture that I put, and I'm not sure what the scale said. I think it might have been like 146, somewhere around there. And I was putting on a lot of muscle, and I was doing really, really well. I didn't feel like I was depriving myself. I didn't feel like I wasn't struggling anymore. I had gotten with that trainer, and I worked out with him like I think 3 times a week, and I was really enjoying my workouts, and I was doing really, really well. And then but it's crazy because the way you talk to yourself says a lot too. Some days, I'm not gonna lie, and I know I'm gonna sound crazy because I realized I was crazy myself later on. Some days I would look in the mirror, even at that weight, at that picture, and be like, God, I'm so fat. Like, why isn't this just going away? And it's what I saw. It's not what other people saw. It's what I saw. And my poor husband was like, you're not fat, you're not fat. And I'm like, I know I'm not fat, but I still just wasn't happy. And even to this day, I can't tell you what's gonna make me happy. I can't tell you where I'm gonna be at and what level of my skin I'm gonna be comfortable in, if that makes any sense. I still don't know. I love these body positive people. It doesn't matter what size you are, this, that, and I'm okay with that, and that's fine too. I am a big health person. It doesn't matter if you're a size 2 or a size 18. If you're healthy, you're healthy. And if you're happy, and I was never happy. And I feel like it got worse. Like, I said that, I feel like it got worse. I don't understand why. So anyway, I got pregnant I found out in August of 2018. Yes, in August of 2018, I found out I was pregnant. And let me tell you, when I found out I was pregnant, old Kendall's mindset came back and was like, fuck it, I know I'm gonna get fat. Let's just eat everything. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Don't do that. Oh my God, don't do that. I literally undid everything, not everything, but a lot of what I had done, especially with my trainer. I had undid all of that hard work, a lot of it, because I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get fat anyway. And I'm talking like, once I kind of got past the nausea phase, I never really got a lot of morning sickness, like actually throwing up, but I was nauseous all day long for like the first month, just completely nauseous. I ate everything and I didn't even care. And towards the end of my pregnancy, my doctor even looked at me and was like, so I'm gonna need you to slow down on your weight gain, because by the time you have your baby, you're gonna have like 20 pounds of fat left over, and the average is like maybe 10 pounds of fat. You're gonna have like 20. I need you to calm down. That hurt. That cut so deep. I was so upset. I didn't want to look at the scale anymore. I'm pretty sure I was starting to teeter back at 200. Pretty sure. But so I was really bad when I was pregnant. I enjoyed myself a little too much. So don't do that. Not if you want to easily get back to where you were after you have your baby. Trust and believe. So I had my baby a little over a year ago. I had her in April. And a lot of it did come off within the first month. Like I said, I don't know exactly what the scale was, but about 3 weeks after I had her, I did get on the scale, and I was back. I was back to where I started around the time I had started losing weight for our wedding. I was back in the 170s, and I was like, what did you do? Oh my God. So I got really, of course I was battling postpartum depression. I got really, really depressed after I had my baby, and a lot of it too was my body. I hated my body. Hated. I gained a lot of weight. Like, I didn't even care about like my stomach really. I gained a lot. My face is like the first thing to show when I gain weight. And then I have like saddlebags, so like my hips and my thighs and my butt. And I don't need no help there, okay? I did not need help there. I hated my body so badly after I had my baby, and that really just added to the struggle of the postpartum depression. It really, really did. It was really, really bad. To the point where I threw out all of my old clothes. And my husband was like, don't do that. Like, you're gonna get back there one day. Don't throw out all your clothes. And I was like, no, fuck it. I'm tired of looking at these clothes. I'm tired of seeing these size 6s in my closet. I ain't never gonna be able to get back into these damn things again. I'm not doing this. All it's doing is making me upset. All it's doing is depressing me. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to see these clothes anymore. Like, I almost threw out all my bathing suits. I did throw out all of my jeans. And I was like, no, I cannot sit and look at these jeans anymore. And I had to go out and I had to buy new clothes for the summertime for after I had my baby. And I was back up to like a size 10, 12. It depended on the brand again. But like some of my pants, some of my shorts were a size 12. And I just cried and cried and cried. I was so upset. I was so mad at myself. I was so mad, like, for overindulging when I was pregnant. I didn't just indulge, I overindulged, and I know that. And I was so mad at myself because I had worked so hard. I lost that 30 pounds before my wedding in like 6 to 8 months, and I managed to keep it all off for 4 years. Yes, 4 years. And I was so proud of myself that I never went back and never picked up extremely bad habits, and that I stayed, you know, kind of working out. I would cycle on and off sometimes, but, you know, I kept it off for 4 years just to undo it all when I found out I was pregnant, because I was like, fuck it! Don't. So I struggled really, really hard, and I got to a point, again, I said I either go one way or the other, where I said, fuck it, I already put all this weight on, it's here now, I'm never going to be able to get back to where I was, so I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm going to eat whatever I want. If I want, you know, to have some margaritas, I'm going to have some margaritas. I don't care. Like, I'm going to eat my cookies, I'm going to eat my ice cream, I'm going to just overindulge again, because damage already done. Obviously, I knew I was creating more damage, but I didn't care, because at the time I was very emotional, and I was emotionally eating. So finally, though, it just clicked. I did learn, I forgot to mention this, I did learn that, I don't know, around December or January, I learned that my cholesterol was back up again, and it really, really upset me. It really, really made me sad. I could not believe, that was another thing that I upset myself about. I cannot believe that I fell back into such bad ways throughout my whole pregnancy, and then even after my pregnancy I had lost some weight, and then I found out in December, January that my cholesterol was high again, and it really sent me spiraling. It really, really upset me. My cholesterol had not been high since high school. Since I had lost all my weight and everything, I did not struggle with my cholesterol. I don't know if it's still high right now. I was supposed to go back to the doctor in March and get my blood drawn again, but then this whole virus thing happened, and I don't even know if they're doing simple things like that. So it was actually, that was probably my turning point, now that I think about it. I grew up struggling with my weight my entire life. So does my husband. I don't want that for my child. She already has genetics fighting against her when it comes to weight and stuff. Like, she's already screwed there. So if I can help it, I need to teach her better habits. I need to show her better habits than I had. And I don't blame my parents for my habits I had. My mom never struggled with her weight. My mom was a very thin woman growing up, so she probably just didn't know. But I just wanted to teach her better habits. I just want to be a good role model for her, and I want to show her that she can still enjoy things such as her mac and cheese and her chicken nuggets, but we also need to make sure we get our fruits and our veggies, and that we're staying active, and we're going outside, and we're playing, and, you know, stuff like that. So I really kicked it back into full gear really not that long ago. Like, she's a year old now. It was just a few months ago. It really wasn't that long ago that I decided I really, you know, I need to kick this into full gear. I need to get my shit together. I need to get back on my grind, and I need to figure this out. One thing I really struggled with, though, with getting back on my grind and getting myself back together and doing my self-care, which was the gym. I really enjoyed going to the gym, was I hated leaving her. So I just felt like I was constantly in this state of just like, fuck, what do I do? I just conundrum all the time. Like, I want to go to the gym because I really need to get this weight off, but then I felt guilty. I had mom guilt like nobody's business. Mom guilt was insane. I wanted to go to the gym and I wanted to take care of myself, but I felt guilty for doing that. I felt like I needed to be at home and I needed to be with my baby. I didn't need to be at the gym. But with some encouraging words from especially my husband, I got over that, and I started going to the gym as much as I could, and then I got my elliptical in my house so that when I don't go to the gym, I don't have an excuse, because there's an elliptical in my house, because I will come up with every excuse in the book. I have lost 15 pounds since I gave birth to her, and it took a year. So it was, slowly but surely this is happening. So whereas before, you know, it took me about 6 to 8 months to lose 30 pounds, it's taken me a year to lose 15 pounds. But I feel like I'm in a much better place mentally. Finally, it's taken a really long time. I'm still not 100% happy with the way my body looks or, you know, the scale. I still struggle with those basic things that maybe someone in the very beginning of losing weight struggles with. I still struggle with a lot of things. But you can only take it one day at a time, one meal at a time, one workout at a time, one decision at a time. And that's what I'm doing. Honing in on my diet again and making sure I have that balance and just trying to create that healthy lifestyle. I'm trying to get back in that routine that I had before. And I know eventually I will get back to that picture I put up. I'm trying to stay in this mental state of I'm doing what I can as I can. And that's pretty much all I can do. So, basically that's my weight loss journey. I don't know if I really included a whole lot of tips for people to follow. Basically all I can say is do your research. Find out what works best for you. Every diet is different, every body is different. Find out what works best for you, and you know, go to your doctor, ask your doctor for help. But I will say 80% of it is diet. You can work out till the cows come home, but if your diet is not good, you're not putting plentiful stuff in your body, you're not putting whole foods in your body, then you're kind of just wasting your time, honestly, unless you just like to live in the gym. But that's what worked for me. I like to lift weights and I eat whole foods, and I try to stay on a routine, and it is hard. It is not easy, but it is a journey, and it does not have to be perfect. Nothing in life is perfect, and your weight loss journey will not be perfect. But just know that even though there are ups and downs, there's still going to be more good times than bad times, and you can still enjoy yourself. You can still go on vacation and, you know, have your drinks and eat with your family and have your desserts, and that's okay. Don't view it as a setback. And these are still things that I tell myself. I'm not sitting here telling anyone this, like, oh, I've mastered this, so this is what you should do. No, I still struggle every single day. I will still eat something I'm not supposed to eat and beat myself up over it for hours, for days. I will beat myself up for if I accidentally ate my whole little thing of Halo Top ice cream. Like, shit, I only meant to eat a half of that. What the fuck, I ate the whole thing. And I will beat myself up over it for days. And that's not healthy either. So just know that everyone has struggles. I don't care if it's a ripped six-pack, somebody looks like they have 5% body fat. Everyone struggles. You have to find what works for you, and you just have to try to stick to a routine and know that it's not going to be perfect. You're gonna have slip-ups, but you got to get back on, and you got to get back to it, and it's all gonna be okay. And if you're healthy, you're healthy. That's basically my journey. We're at like 52 minutes. Hopefully when I edit this, it won't be that long, but thanks for coming by, and have a good one, guys. Stay safe.